Good morning. Welcome, Altheans. Come one, come all. Take a seat. Come on in. All right, as we're getting settled, please check on your phones. As we like to say, we listen for a higher calling. And if it rings during one of our prayers and meditations, it kind of takes us out of the magic of the moment. So please check that your phones are on silent. A gentle reminder that we do not allow new open containers of drinks or food here in the sanctuary unless it's a water bottle that closes and it's just water, okay? All right, I have a few announcements. My name is Luis Felipe Parente Rios. I'm one of your board members, and then I will turn it over to Reverend Christina. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Today, as usual, after our service, we will have a prayer partner in Darwin's Den. That is what we are about here. If you're new to Althea, affirmative prayer. If you're not familiar with it, that's why we have a prayer partner every Sunday that can help guide you through a prayer for whatever you feel might be missing in your life, to affirm whatever is needed, all right? If you are newish and you are ready to become a member at Althea, now is the time. Please see Ricky, who you will see on the piano today, and Reverend Christina to fill out an application. I would encourage you to do that soon because in the spring we'll be celebrating new members. So get that done so we can celebrate you. All right, we're also, notice these flowers, these beautiful flowers. They're provided by one of our members here today. You are all welcome to also join us in providing flowers for a Sunday service. All you need to do is reach out to Kristen Engelkey, who is our volunteer coordinator, or let me know today if you want to do it for next Sunday, as she's not here today. All right, we have also after service today, we'll gather for community and tea and refreshments and cookies. In the dining hall. This is a good time to get connected, to get to know people, especially if you're new or newish. Come and join us for that. This year's theme here at Althea is Coming Alive in 2025. We're prioritizing our well-being through embodied practices, and as such, we have 2 6-class series of transformative yoga. You're gonna see Linda up here in a few minutes for I think Face of God? Yeah? Okay. And she is leading on Tuesdays and Thursdays 2 different yoga classes. On Tuesdays is the one that Chris and I attend. It's great. Let me read the description. Integrative yoga for all. And we are balancing, strengthening, and relaxing. It is deeply, deeply powerful and spiritual work. It is open to everyone, all abilities, all experience levels. So come and join us. That's Tuesdays, 5:45 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then on Thursdays, she does a women's class for Somatic Sanctuary. And it's a space for women to explore movement and mindfulness, fostering self-awareness and empowerment. That series is also running through February 27th, also at the same time, 5:45, but on Thursdays. All right, and you can see more details. Everything that I just shared with you is always on the website. All right, and then we have in March 1st, Saturday, March 1st at 6:30 p.m., we have a special concert here by Jesse Powers, who's being celebrated as one of the brightest stars in the next wave of New Thought music. It's going to be a special concert, and tickets are $25, so come join if you can, if you're around. And invite friends and family as well. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Reverend Christina for our Sunday service. Thank you.
Good morning. Hi. So lovely to see everyone today and some new faces. Welcome to Althea. We're a spiritual non-denominational center based in love. The foundation is affirmative prayer and oneness. Affirmative prayer is like a spiritual mind treatment where we call in what we do not see, but there's a higher vision. We honor all races, all faiths, all religions. You will hear here, sometimes I'll bring up maybe today Imbolc, because yesterday was Imbolc. So we honor and celebrate it from Buddhism all the way to our current New Thought spirituality, and we honor where everyone is. So if you are new here, I'd like for you not only to raise your hand, but take a stand. Stand up, and we have a flower for you. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. And I have to say this, many years ago in 2003, Rick Schaefer's one of our ushers, introduced me to a woman who sold me my house in 2003. She says she hasn't been here for like 20 years. You can raise your hand. But talk about a small world. She's sitting in the back, and I was like, I know that name, and I know that face. I know her eyes, her beautiful eyes. But small world, she attended here 20 years ago, and she's back, and she's an amazing realtor. Sold me my house very fast in 2003. So talk about a small world of community coming together. So welcome to Althea. Rick Kitzman is one of our practitioners, and he will be praying us in, grounding and centering us. Thank you, Rick.
Good morning. So if you're comfortable, just close your eyes and let us just breathe. So simple, breathing. We can't stop it. It is that movement within us that we can control by breathing deeper or exhaling deeper. But it is that presence of the divine that breathes us. And so let us focus on the fact, the truthfulness with a capital T. There is only one. There is only one power. And it is truly invincible. It is everywhere present, and it is in each and every one of us. For each and every one of us in this room, in this city, in this state, in this country, in this world, are divine children of the One. It goes by innumerable names, but it is always still coming back to there's only one. And let us remind ourselves of this unity, that when we go about our daily business, chores, play, and we see people in the stores or on the slopes, or even driving, let us remember that they are our brothers and sisters, that we are one with them and they are one with us. No matter what we hear in the media that inundates our ears, let us remind ourselves that we are one with everyone, and nothing can ruin that. Nothing can defy that. Let us remember that each of us is a symbol of love. And let us, with gratitude in our hearts, let us give thanks for these bodies that we inhabit, for this life that we have, for this ability, this wonder to experience ourselves, each other, this planet. And I release anything contrary to these words, knowing that in the divine mind, any question, any problem is always answered, and always, always with great, great love. And together we say, and so it is.
Good morning, beautiful Althea community. I would like to invite you to join me in Althea state of being. So if it is possible for you, please stand up. And then just take a moment to ground your feet into earth, tune into your hearts. And then let's start. God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. The one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. We are individualized expressions of God and are ever one with His perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are a face of God. You are a face of love. I hold you in my heart. We are a family. You are the face of God.
Thank you, Linda. You all sound great. Well, this morning, right 8 o'clock this morning, I got some sad news. Our performer, Nikki Flynn, she'll be fine, but she decided to go to the hospital. Seems like anaphylactic shock. She had severe inflammation. So hold Nikki in your prayer. She's an amazing singer. So we will bring her back. But we also are blessed to have Ricky. Ricky's our admin, but Ricky is an amazing piano player that I didn't know he was hiding some of his gifts. And one day he played a beautiful sonnet for us that took us into a deep meditation. So welcome, Ricky.
From Franklin Thomas, businessman and philanthropist, past president and CEO of the Ford Foundation. One day, our descendants will think it incredible that we paid so much attention to things like the amount of melanin in our skin or the shape of our eyes or our gender instead of the unique identities of each of us as complex human beings. Sure, good. And let me invite you down this little wonderful spiritual rabbit hole from my man Stuart Wilde. He's a metaphysical author and teacher. You are the God force. Never forget that. It's important to remind yourself that the infinite self is dynamic and fast changing. And your life will begin to reflect that nature so that it can rest in a perpetual state of dynamic change and not knowing.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Ricky. Yeah, not knowing. Isn't that interesting? Not knowing. Last week, I couldn't believe that February 1st was Saturday. I kept looking at my calendars there got to be more days in January, because it felt like it went by so fast. And the meaning of February, along with Imbolc, which we're in that Celtic tradition right now, and celebrating Saint Brigitte, was the halfway point between the solstice and the equinox. And in the northern hemisphere, a lot of the indigenous people believed it was the last day of winter. Now, those of you watching on Facebook or later on YouTube, in Colorado, our winter may show up again in March. We've had many blizzards in March. So right now, it does feel like spring. It might even get up to 67 degrees in Colorado. But we're in a new kind of spring, in a new world. And this month, I want to focus on the Force. I grew up loving Star Wars. And I love what Susan made our media person, the power of the Force. That's what it feels like, and that's what's in us. And it's okay, we don't know what's going to happen. Every day is a new adventure. And especially in America, there's a lot of changes. Some good and some not so good. Some are interesting. I believe we are in a new age of enlightenment. The signs are everywhere. Even if you look at the Bible, even if you look at Nostradamus, even if you look at the Bhagavad Gita or the Egyptian Book of the Dead. These times have been written, but we've also made it through. How come? There's a power greater than us. Ernest Holmes said that. I've been chanting that for 30 years. There's a force greater than us. And that's what we're here to affirm. That's what this building is based on. There's a force greater than us. Stuart Wilde. I started reading his books when I was 20 years old and I was a bartender. An old manager's like, you ought to read his book. He wrote the book called The Force. And it was like, for me, that George Lucas, that I later found out is a metaphysician, like myself, really into New Thought, like myself, that he went to this place called Damanhur, Italy, that I've been to 5 times. And he got a download in the 60s for Star Wars in a cave. So he's the one that says, the Force is with you, Luke. So in January, I'm always asking, okay, Spirit, what do I talk about at Althea? I really take this seriously to heart in meditation. And I didn't get anything. I was like radio silent. I'm like, well, this is going to be interesting. And it wasn't until last Sunday I was meditating. And Yoda showed up in my meditation. It wasn't baby Yoda, though, but it was Yoda. And then I could feel my mother who passed away. And I saw a vision. I used to have a real plastic lifesaver. Remember those from the 70s? This was in my meditation. And then this little Yoda character said, the Force is with you. It's always been with you. I'm like, that's it. Because when I'm going deep, it's not just for me, it's for all of us. Because I think we forgot that. I think a lot of times when we hear stuff on the news or in media, social media, whatever, we forget that everything passes. You realize that everything passes. There's always like this golden age, we're ending the industrial age. This science is proving that with all the new technologies and all of us speaking on crystals and meditation and yoga. I never thought, but I'm happy to see that I see spiritual centers like Althea, that we have yoga classes. I went to Catholic school. That would have never happened. But now even the Catholic schools, they're having kids do yoga. That tells me everything is shifting. We're in a grand shift. Alice Walker, I love this woman. She was the first African-American woman to win a Pulitzer, 1982. That took a long time, just saying. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. That they don't have any power. That's when you give yourself away. And now is the time when we all need to remember we do have power. I heard some sad news yesterday. My husband's in law enforcement, and I worked in some secret areas that's not going to be secret anymore in the government. And I've had friends this week call me up crying. And by the way, they're on all walks of life, independent, Democrat, Republican. They're all losing their jobs. And they told me they're terrified. I'm talking FBI people, y'all. I'm talking top-level CIA that are protecting our country, things we don't want to know about. They're getting let go. And they're like, okay, one of them said, I'm not calling you as a friend because we used to work together. I'm calling you for ministry. I'm calling you for help. And one's an atheist. I know he's an atheist. He said, right now, this atheism thing's not working for me. So I was like, well, you don't have to swing all the way, but he does meditate. Very interesting guy. Genius, literally a rocket scientist, literally. His wife lost her job. She's a general. And she's powerful. So he's like, I said, we do have power. He's like, I don't know what to do. And I said, this is when we don't know what to do, is when we're powerful. He told me this weekend he's watching all the Star Wars. I said, that's what we need to remember. Because it's not, what George Lucas created was not that far-fetched. It's very symbolic, but the power of affirmative prayer, of saying, hey, or even saying help. Sometimes help is a prayer. It's like, we need help. Archangels, ancestors, spirit guides, our loved ones, powers in the universe that we know nothing about. That's what we need. That's what we have to do. It's not so much this fighting. I know people have told me, we ought to go to D.C. and we ought to form this and burn this down. I'm like, that doesn't help. We just celebrated King Day. Remember, he was of peace. Selma was awful what happened. And we're in Black History Month, and I'm going to say this every Black History Month. It is the shortest month. I am triggered by it. Just saying. And it would be great that one day we stop celebrating Black History Month and Indigenous People Month, and we just celebrate us as human beings. I do believe one day that will happen. Because we're just different skin colors, and we got different noses, eyes, hair, everything, body shapes. Look at all the mixed babies walking this planet. Little blonde-headed kids with the biggest afros, which I'm jealous of, I've ever seen in my life. It shows us the oneness. It's God in expression. We are not powerless. We're powerful. Prayer is more powerful than a gavel. It really is. Remember Nelson Mandela. It's more powerful. No one could put us in this fear, not even a $17 dozen of eggs. Come on. A friend of mine was complaining. I say, hey, you know you could live without eggs. Just saying. It's not the end of the world. And no matter what shows up, We are at choice of how we feel. We're individually at choice. Either you're going to go down that rabbit hole and literally make yourself sick. I know people energetically making themselves sick. And I don't even have the heart to tell them, like, ooh. And they were like, well, I was watching C-SPAN all day. I'm like, oh. And now they're sick. And they were at home. Like for 2 or 3 days. It's like, you haven't been around anyone to get COVID. And I was like, you're lowering your immune system. When you get stuck in the stuckness. Because now everything that's all going on in our country, it's not Democrat or Republican. We got to take that out of the mix. This is just energy now. We're seeing greed go on. We're seeing a low vibration going on. And people trying to have us be in fear. Because fear gets you to what? Drink and smoke and eat junk food. You notice that? They said during Depression, the cost of cigarettes went up, not because of the Depression, because they found a way to make money from it, because people were stressed out. I say we do the opposite. We get healthier. We pray more. We love more. We hug our friends and family and say, this is okay. Or like I've been telling all my friends, like Natural Grocers here in Colorado, the dozen of eggs is still $4.99. Just don't go to Walmart. Go someplace else. We have social media. Isn't it time we use it for good? Yeah. Use it for good. Spread some good news. There's enough darkness out there. Watch something funny. Start your day off with laughter. Turn on Netflix and watch something funny. Shift it up. There's someone in this room that canceled his newspaper. I am proud of him. And he said, I'm still knowing what's going on. I'm like, yep, without being inundated. To shift into that. Go do some artwork. Go organize your house. Spring cleaning will be here soon. Go do something else. But we are at power. There is a force for good, and it works for us all the time. This is from Odessa. When God gives you more than you can tolerate, you turn to instinct. And instinct is a force behind anyone's control. Instinct. I'm going to say instead of instinct, intuition. Your intuition will tell you everything is going to work out. And I stand here, dare I say, with friends and people I know in fear, and even family members, everything's going to work out. I knew my great-grandparents. They were born in the late 1800s. I heard stories. I heard horrific stories. And I got to see them when they left this world. They lived over 100 years. Mixed black people, deep south, went through the Black Plague. They made it. So I'm like, okay, they didn't have the technology they have. They didn't have cars and cell phones. And even some of their communities were burned down just because of the color of their skin. They kept the faith and had many children. This is why I'm here. If they did it with a lack of education, money, and all this other stuff, and still were farmers, still had faith. My great-grandmother, I don't know if you've ever seen a Tyler Perry movie, a Medea, she looked like that. No, literally, she was 6'1". Her name was Eileen Frederick. Beautiful black woman. Boobs out to here, you know, like when she hugged you, I mean, you were hugged, okay? You were hugged. You felt the love. She had a little gun in her bra, in the little house coat. Sometimes there was a knife. There was total respect. Could cook her butt off. I'm telling you, you didn't go there when you was trying to lose weight. But she always had faith. She said, no matter what. She told me one day, baby, you're going to see way worse than I have. I'm like, huh? But she said, you guys are going to be just fine. Because she looked at my little professor. This is how they knew I was going to be an engineer. I had a little professor, little calculator from Texas Instruments. And she's looking at it. She said, every time I see you, you have something new. She said, what's this? Walk man, walk tooth, walk what? What is this? And she said, you're going to probably see cars flying. Still waiting for that one. But she said there's going to be a moment where there's going to be so much dark you're going to want to run and hide and get scared. Or some people will go and get drugs. My dad was an alcoholic. She said Vietnam and Korea messed him up. She said he was already a little messed up when he was younger, but that sealed the deal. Don't do that. He walked away, what she said, the Christ consciousness. He walked away from his own inner power. She used to watch Star Wars with me. His own inner power. And she said, you're a lifesaver. She said, that's a prayer. She said, you just wield that. And she said, see it as a beam of love and light when you wield it. Because she said, all that cuts away the dark. A candle, when you walk into a dark room, you notice where the dark goes. We are all those candles. You online, you're a candle. We are that candle in the wind. We are that light. We are that power. And we are the truth. That's what matters. Our ancestors heard that this planet was going to blow up. They're saying it now, oh, the nuclear war and this. This is not going to happen. Now, I'm going to get a little ancient aliens on you for a second. And I watched that sometime and saw this general that said we cannot explain that during the Cold War, our government almost lit off a missile but couldn't. And Russia was going to light a missile up towards America. You know all those missiles were disabled? You could Google this. They still to this day said, we don't know what turned them off. They couldn't get them back online for 6 months. I believe we have help. I'm just saying. We have spiritual help, and we may have otherworldly help. Do I believe the government believes it? Yep. I can't talk about it now, but yeah. We're not alone in this universe. We have spirit guides that have been assigned to us. Yeshua's energy is here. Is here. Just as much as when people see what they consider dark, the light is always here. How I know that? Because the earth is here. The moon is here. This month, they're saying we need to watch by the moon because we're going to see all the planets in alignment. Another alignment we haven't seen in 30,000 years. We'll be able to see Venus, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Isn't that awesome? With the naked eye. How about one night when it's not too cold? And sometimes when you feel a little sad, or even if you're feeling happy. If you're feeling happy, say, thank you that I get to see this. And if you're concerned about friends or family or Ukraine or other countries, send them love. Because they get to see the same stars we do. We all see the same moon. That's our oneness. There are more people that want peace on this planet, and I believe it, than don't. There are more people that want abundance and prosperity than don't. If you find eggs or whatever like on sale, buy an extra pack and give them to someone that might feel, oh my God. Show them the power within. Because everything's available to us all the time. Told you I like Star Wars. The Force is not a power you have. It's not about lifting rocks. It's the energy between all things. A tension, a balance that binds the universe together. George Lucas wrote that. I believe he channeled it. We are all one. That's these teachings here at Althea. In March, the second Sunday at 1 o'clock, I'm starting a workshop called Herstory. It's about the women of New Thought. You will hear more about that this week. Follow us online and Facebook. About the history, the herstory, because it was women of New Thought from the 1800s to present day, and how they used affirmative prayer and meditation and the power of belief, the law of attraction and love, to even manifest this building and pay it off in 3 years. Wouldn't you take some of that? They used the power in the 1800s and the 1900s and saw a lot then when women couldn't vote. And it's not a workshop just for women, it's for all. Because all of us have both hormones in us. We all have estrogen and testosterone. Sorry, guys, we have both. It makes us who we are. It shows us how unified we are with that one source, that one light, that one truth, that one essence. That's the power of the force. The force is strong with us. It's strong with the animals. It's strong with the trees. One of our board members, I'm not going to say their name, but had a visitation from an eagle. That's a totem. Now, this week I've heard that from 3 people. An eagle swooped down when I was washing my car in Denver. My other friend said he was just sitting in his backyard in Lakewood and sent me a picture. I'm like, holy cow. He's like, I'm just sitting there at coffee and it's staring at me. That's a sign. That's the symbol of America. But it's native and indigenous because it's freedom. It's the high watch. It's high intuition. We're in a new lunar calendar, the year of the snake. And snakes, in my opinion, get a bad rap. They get a bad, naughty little rap. And the snake sheds its skin, but it also means high intuition, high consciousness, rising above, transformation. Hello. Wouldn't you say we're in a big transformation? I believe we're going to see Americans coming together. I believe it because I've seen it. I don't know what's going to do it. Don't need to know how, right, Bruce? You got that, right, Bruce? Yeah, I don't need to know how. When everyone says we got to pray for peace on earth, I agree, but we got to pray for peace in ourselves. How many of us are at war with our bodies, with our thoughts, with our deeds, with our finances, with our house, with cleaning up, with organizing, picking fights over little things, parking spots, complaining, don't complain about eggs, let it go. Because the more what you focus on grows, and that's part of these teachings. How about we start envisioning peace? Looking at artwork, I saw a cute little artwork of We Are the World. Remember the We Are the World song? I decided to start playing it in my car because we are the world. We get to choose it because we are that force for good, that force of power, that force of love, that force of light. Now more than ever, we need each other. I call people for prayer support. I did yesterday afternoon when my friends are worried about losing their job or what's going on with the country. I was like, I have to be at peace and trust that this is above my pay grade. But what mine to do is to practice that affirmative prayer, saying, I know there's peace. Even though I may not see it with my outer eye, I know it with my inner eye. This third eye is the inner eye. What's your intuition telling you? Spirit never, God never forsakes us because we're all children of the one. So I'm going to invite you all to just listen. I'm not going to pray us out so much. You could do this and then go into a song. Use this time of Ricky playing. And this is a question I want you to ask yourself. A little homework this week. And you can start right now. How do we, and make it more specific to you, tap into the powerful force that I am? You will get an answer. You may even get a symbol. Ricky, you may proceed. How do I tap into the powerful force that I am? Thank you, Ricky. That was beautiful. Thank you. Now is the time of sharing and offering. As they like to say, sharing is caring. And our QR code is where you can go to also give online at altheacenter.org. We also have a dip jar in the back that lights up like a little Christmas tree of $10 debit card dips. And you also can give continually where it automatically comes out of your bank account. And all of them are tax deductible. And they go to support this building, support artists, support how we support the community, and to continue to grow our community so it can be here another 100 years. And now, here we like to pray, and it helps with the circulation knowing that everything you give comes back to you. And together we say, the universe provides all that I need and all that I give. With great joy, I share my prosperity, planting seeds for a world I'm helping manifest. And so it is. Amen. And you can also give in time, talent, and treasure. Kristen's not here, but I'm here. Kristen's in Baltimore. Hi, Kristen. And Louise, or talk to any one of us. If you want to volunteer here for when we have other events as well. And sometimes when we choose to have food, but you may join us after us, that we do have like cookies and cakes, and sometimes there's some little candies and coffee and tea. Join us for fellowship and community and meeting new people as well. There's a lot of cool people here. And now, I'm going to pray us out. Bob, our wonderful Bob Burkhardt usually prays us out. He wasn't feeling too well, so we're going to hold and send him beautiful, heartwarming, healing love. And I'm going to pray us out right now. So if you're willing, stand, grab a hand, and then we will sing, Let There Be Peace on Earth. So let's take a deep breath. Come on, come up here. You hold hands. And knowing that we are all one. All right, let's walk over here. We are all one under the sun, for there is only one light, that one truth, that one divine energy, Father, Son, Mother Earth. We are all united with that. And I know this for Althea and everyone in the room, everyone online, that we are peaceful, we are whole, we are complete. And there's a rain of love, light, pure energy raining through Althea and through all of us. For we are united. As we sing together, let there be peace on earth. And so it is.
Thank you, everybody.